Hi everyone, it's Cindy here from Plenty of Knots. Today I want to make this pretty little bracelet using these beads here, and I'm going to use the 1mm polyester cord, which is in the white. I've cut a piece that's approximately 13 inches, which is 33 centimeters long. That's your main cord. And then you'll need another 2 cords, which is your working cord. So just fold it over and cut a length. Probably I've got about 80 centimeters roughly for this project. We're just going to do a square knot in this one. So I've just pinned it down, and I'm going to start at about, I just want it to be about 1 inch, which is equivalent to probably about 2 to 3 centimeters. So I'm going to pop it in. The bracelet's 12, I want it to be about halfway, which is 6, which is here, and that's where the beads, the center of the beads will be. This center bead will be placed there. So I'm just going to feed these on to start with in this order. We'll do that to start with. So you need to cut your 13-inch piece to start with, and I've just hit it with a hot flame and stretched it out. And I'll show you how to do that. That just helps with threading it on when you want to thread it on. I'll show you. Just use this piece here. So you hit it with a flame, get it so that it melts down funny like that, and then you can just pull it and just let it cool off, and then you cut it, and that gives you a nice little like needle to thread it on, if you can see there. And that's what I do with most of my cords so that I can feed them on. So I've got that there. So we'll feed the first one on, starting at the top, pulling it down onto there, onto the cord. If it doesn't go on, just find one that will. They'll have different sort of size holes, so you're bound to find one that works. You just want to pull that on. They're very small holes, so just work them slowly. It's usually the first one's the hardest. These ones should be a bit bigger. I'm just going to trim that. Don't need too much. Feed the next one on. And then another ball, gold. I think that'll fit, otherwise we'll grab another one. And give it a little twist as well. And the big one. I'll grab one more from here. See Let me get that one to come on. Okay, so once you've got them all on, we'll save these two for the edges later. So I'm going to pop this down now next to my ruler, my little tape measure here, and just pin the top just so that it stays secure on the mat here, right through the middle. And then I have my starting point, which is about 3 meters, so I'm going to 3 inches there, sorry, and pop that in, and that's where I'm going to start from with my square knot. So measuring down, I'll just show you. We'll measure this down here in a second. I just want to start with a knot. So make sure your lengths are exactly the same, because you don't want to waste any of the length. So make sure it's nice and straight. And then we're just going to feed, we'll do a knot to start with underneath here. You can move your beads out the way for now. Just do yourself a little knot here, just to secure it in. And then to do the square knot, we just do either side. So you can see there's a tiny little section on this side here. We'll do the opposite side. So just create a D section, cross over, and then pass it through. And I like to use a little crochet hook, which makes it a lot easier for me to pass it through. Tighten it up, and you can see there's a little tiny lump there. We want to do the opposite now to create it on the other side. So do your backwards D on this side, bring the right side yarn over, crossing over the top there, and then we want to feed it through and under the main cord there and into that loop there, and pull it through. So I'll just go a little bit closer for you and you can have another look. So we do the opposite side now. We've got our little loop on there, so we want to come on to the other side. So remember to create the opposite side. So we do the D on this side, and then we go over the top of the line we've just crossed, and we feed it underneath, and through that D loop there. If you find the ends are fraying a little bit, you can just hit them with a little bit of heat just to stop them from fraying. As you can see there, it's fraying a little bit. And just hit that, stops it from fraying. So we'll keep going. I'm going to do, I only need probably 1 inch there, and that's all I'll do for this. And then we'll do a little bit around the beads. I'll show you that. So underneath, just changing opposite sides as we go. So when you can see that there, you need to go with a D that way, crossing over this side here, and then feeding that underneath the main line there into the space of the D on the other side there. See, just through there. Pull it tight, nice and tight. So I'm going to continue just to do about 1 inch, and then I'll show you how to work around the beads. So swapping sides. And this is called the square knot. So I'm nearly to an inch. I'll keep going to an inch, then I'll show you the next step. So that's down to the 1 inch mark now. So we're going to bring up a bead, and we're going to do the same knot around the bead this time. Just one individual square knot around the bead. So you can see the loop on that side. So we cross over on the opposite side. Pull through. Pull it tight. See, it's got a little bit of looseness there. So you want to pull that tight. So just loosen that one off. Pull the other one tight, and then we can pull that one back in. You want them to be nice and tight there. And then pull this one, pull it nice and tight, that's better. And then we're going to bring up the next bead and do the same thing again, crossing over and under. Just one square knot. Wait till you get the second one, and then you can pull that tight. It'll lock in on the second one. So pull that tight, and then pull the next one tight. Move a bead up and do the same thing again. Opposite side. Go around there, pull it up, opposite side. So pull that one tight, and then pull this one tight. All right, there you go. Bring that next lovely bead up. This is your feature bead. And we'll do it again underneath. And this next one will make it nice and tight. So you've got the two there. I'll just bring this up a bit. So I've just done the one just there, and then pull the other one nice and tight on that. You want to lock them in place, you don't want them going anywhere. Next bead. Make that tight. So do your square knot again. Underneath. And then the next one. So we'll just pop that back. We'll make sure this one's tight, and then make that tight next to it. That locks it in. There we go. So we've got 2 more beads to do, and then we'll go back to the square knot for about another inch, and then I'll show you how to do the sliding square knot, which joins it all together. And lock that in. So before you pull that up, always make sure this one's locked in nice and tight, and then pull that up. Alright, so just going to move that up a little bit to about the 3 inch mark there. And now we're going to continue down to the 4 inch mark there. That just gives you 1 inch of the square knot on both sides. So again, cross it over, tuck it under, pull it tight. You can see the little knot there. We want it onto the other side. So we bring it across, over the yarn, and feed it under this side here and into that space. So I'm going to do it down to the 4 inch mark, and then we'll look at doing the back, the section here on the back. It's this called the sliding knot, and that just helps you to loosen or tighten your bracelet when you're wearing it. That's probably the easiest way to do this. It's nice just having it just the raw materials with no clasps or anything. You can easily make this just with a few beads and a little bit of cord. So I have, I now will do other bracelets with different types of knots. So if you have any that you would like me to do, please let me know in the comments. And if you've got any idea with other beads and things, let me know what you'd like to see. I need one more. And we'll do, just check the sizing on this. So you just fold it in half. And then just look at the sides here. So I can see I could use one more just there. So I'll do one more. It's going to go on the opposite side there. So tuck that under and bring that up. Now that should be about the right size now. So that's to there. Yep, pretty good. Okay. So we have the top there. We're going to feed on a bead. Well, I've got you. I'm going to feed a bead on. We're just going to do a little gold one today. Keep it nice and simple. And you can tie a little knot in this. Tie yourself a knot, and then I would just hit it with a little bit of heat. Try to get it down as far as you can. You don't want to waste any of the cord. And because what you'll notice is we have been working with this middle piece, so I'm just going to cut it to about there, a couple of mil, because then you can just hit it with a bit of flame and it'll pop on there. So just this, fine. That locks that in. But because this whole thing is based on this cord, you can, if you've got more cord down the bottom, and as I have, and less up the top, as you can see there, you could actually pull it all down, pull it down a little bit towards the other side. Pull it down so you've got a little bit of room still on the top side. Just make it nice and even, that's what I would do. So let's have a look before I finish that off. Yeah, see how I've got center cord still a bit longer there, so I might take it down a bit more. Just pull it. That's good. Before we tighten this off, just check that. Yeah, that's good. So you just want to make it so that these two center cords are similar. So if I go down a little bit more. And then we can secure this other end with putting that on. So let's do this. So stretch it out. See if I can pop on a bead. So I found another bead that will fit onto there, so we just tie it in a knot and then just hit it with the flame. Let's try that again. So just as close to the end there as you can without wasting any of that. take it close to there, trim it up, and then hit it with that, and push that together there. Beautiful. Alright, so we've got that on. The last thing to do now is to tighten that off. We've got it fairly even on both sides. Just going to pull that around a little bit. Just want to make sure it's even. Go back that way a little bit. It's always fun, just pull it around until you get it so that it's nice and even on the line there, because when we hit this with a bit of heat now, it's going to probably stick is what we want it to do. So I'm going to now cut this. Probably only need a couple of mil on either side. You don't want it too long because you want to heat quickly and attach itself like that. That's pretty good. And there, we can wriggle it down, and that's perfect. So you could probably use this piece here that I've got to do the sliding knot. That's what we want to do next. I've got a piece here. I'll just do a little, it's probably about, it's about 17 inches long, so it should be enough to do the sliding knot that we need. So if you want to secure your work, do it with a couple of needles, and then we're just going to slide it under. So just cross the two over, and then we're going to slide it under both, and just do the square knot again. I'll make sure that's even, and just tie that in a knot just there. Pop another pin in just to secure its position, middle there. Pop this one off, and then we'll just do the square knot underneath both. Just like we were doing before. Secure it up the top nice and tight, and cross over the opposite side to there, opposite side to there. Secure that again, and back to the opposite side. Feed that under the two this time, pull it tight. You can make this as long or as short as you want, just depending on how much yarn you have or cord. But pull it nice and tight, and just swap sides. And I'm going to use this as I get closer to less cord. I'm going to use the crochet hook. Push under, pull it through. Just there, and do a few more. And then all we need to do is cut the ends and heat them exactly like we did before on the ends here, on this end here. And we are done. So you can do this, it only takes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes max. You can make some of these for whoever you like. You can make them to sell them. Just take into consideration the cost of your materials and your time. And I will make a few more different ones. I've got a lot of other beads actually, and a few other ideas, so I'll make a few more. Try some different knots. I have made other couple but if you want to see them, I'm actually wearing one which I really love. It's the rose, pink rose bracelet, and I've done another one which is a smoky quartz, so I'll put them at the end of this video, so have a look at those. I think this is long enough, so I'm going to cut my yarn and just lock them in place now. And there you have one pretty green swirl bracelet. So again, just make sure that that moves up and down, and that you can pop it on your hand, which should be enough space there. And then to lock these in, just trim them about there and there. Take those out. And again, hit them with your flame. And this side. And that kind of sticks it together there. So if you feel they're not as tight as you'd like them to be, you can hit them with a bit of glue as well. I have this silicone glue that I use, just a crafting glue, multi-purpose, waterproof and heat resistant as well. And it's got a bit of flex to it. You can pop a little bit of glue in there and on the other side if you wanted to. But that seems to be pretty good. I'm going to keep that like that as it is. And then this is a sliding knot, so you can just move this in and out basically. Give it a go. That's just your square knot with your sliding knot as a square knot as well. Locks it in place. Until I see you on the next video, please stay safe and have a fantastic day. And I hope you like this one. Like and subscribe if you do. Hit the notification bell if you want to see what I'm doing next. Talk to you soon.